You look at the official numbers from the Federal Health Survey. They say 74% of adults in East Palestine report new or worsening symptoms since the wreck. Headaches, breathing trouble, nosebleeds. That's not a statistic. That's your neighbor, your family. So how does that square with the all clear they gave the air?
You want the truth about what's in the air and water right now? The government says it's safe, but 74% of people in a new survey report new health problems. That's the shell game. They test for immediate danger, not for what builds up over years and that legal settlement. The $600 million won. $600 million sounds like justice. But there's a window to file a claim, and that window closes. What happens if you get sick in 2025 or 2026? That window, it's already shut. The long-term health study, the one run by NIH, its first real report isn't due until 2029. 3 years from now, the cameras will be long gone. So who's watching until then?
You look at East Palestine before the wreck. Just a village, about 4,700 people. Farm country, old septic tanks. The railroad was always there. 100 years, just noise and jobs, not fear. Then the rules changed. Not all at once. A slow leak. Back in 2015, they passed a rule. Required better brakes on trains carrying flammable stuff, electronic brakes. That rule got killed in 2017. The railroad lobby spent millions arguing it cost too much, $3 billion, said the safety benefit wasn't worth it. So it went away. And what happened after? The accidents kept coming. Federal data shows hundreds of hazmat incidents on the rails every year. The system was built for speed, for the operating ratio.
Norfolk Southern was running at about 60%. That's the number Wall Street watches. Lower is better, means more profit. They called it precision scheduled railroading, longer trains, fewer workers. The train that derailed was over 9,000 feet long, 151 cars. Inspection times got cut, rushed. Union guys and federal reports both say the same thing. The bearing that overheated probably missed in a rush check. And here's the part that gets you. That train wasn't classified as high hazard. Why? The rule says you need 20 tank cars of flammable liquid in a row. This train had 3 cars of vinyl chloride. 3. So it got treated like any other train. No special routes, no speed limits. Think about it like a delivery company skipping tire checks to meet a 30-minute guarantee. Then the car crashes into a house. They say the road was safe. The car passed inspection, but the house is ruined. So who made the decision to cut that rule, and who profited from the longer, heavier trains?
You ever see a document that just stops you cold? Not a headline, not a tweet. The actual paperwork. I found the EPA order from February 3rd, 2023, the one they sent Norfolk Southern, docket number circular 05-2023-009. That's the legal hammer. And buried in the findings, a number, 43,000 to 44,000. That's the official count of aquatic species killed in the streams, not from some protest group, from the Ohio Department of Natural Resources. In the federal record, they called it a 7.5-mile dead zone. But here's the part that gets you thinking. This order is what makes them pay. Under CERCLA, the Superfund law, it means Norfolk Southern is on the hook for every dime of cleanup.
So what's their job now? Their real job, it's not to fix your water, it's not to make the town whole. Their job is to satisfy the EPA as fast and as cheap as possible. 44,000 fish become a line item. So when you hear cleanup is complete, who was the cleanup really for? Let me tell you about a family. Not their real names, but their story is real. It's in the court filings. They owned a home less than a mile from the tracks. Life was normal. Then the order came. Evacuate. Now. Grab what they could. Left everything else. Their house was inside the blast zone. After the all clear, they went back. The smell hit them first. Chemical, sharp, made the kids sick to their stomachs. The official report said the air was safe, but their reality was different. The boy, constant nosebleeds, headaches that wouldn't quit, breathing trouble. The girl, severe anxiety, rashes on her skin. They paid for their own test. A lab looked at the dust inside their home. The results showed dioxins, furans.
Compounds the initial EPA air monitors weren't even looking for. So now they're trapped. The house is worth a fraction of what it was. No one wants to buy it. They still owe the mortgage. Can't afford to just walk away, so they stay in a place they believe is making them sick. They're part of the big lawsuit now, Norfolk Southern, seeking money for the lost value, for health monitoring, for what it's done to them. But the settlement claims window closed in August 2024. Anyone who develops symptoms after that, they're filing a new case from scratch. But here's the question that keeps you up at night. If the official safe and the family sick are both true, what does that mean for the next town, the next derailment?
You heard it. Everyone did. The air is safe. The water is safe to drink. That was the official line right from the top.
Governor DeWine, EPA head Michael Regan, the Norfolk Southern CEO. They all said it. No detections. But then you look at the government's own reports, the ones they don't put on the news, the ATSDR survey, the EPA's own technical assistance notes. They found acrolein. That's a chemical that burns your throat, makes you cough, leaves you short of breath. Sound familiar? The official all clear was based on one thing: short-term exposure for a healthy adult. Not for your kids, not for your grandma, not for you. Living there for months. The system that declares safe isn't the same one that tracks the cancer cluster in 10 years. They have different budgets, different bosses. So who's actually watching out for you long term?
All right. So you want to do something? You want to find the real data? Here's where you start. First, the NIH, they set up a specific page. It's called Researching the Health Impacts of the East Palestine Train Derailment. Bookmark that. That's your hub for the next decade. The long-term study lives there, now the EPA. Their page is a library. Go to the Documents section. Look up the order from February 3rd, 2023, the EPA Order for Access. That document, it's the raw instruction manual they gave Norfolk Southern, the approved work plan for soil and water. Don't read a summary, read the order itself. But what about your town? If you're anywhere in the Rust Belt, Ohio has a tool. The Department of Health Data Portal.
You can query emergency room visits by county. Look for spikes in respiratory illness. It won't prove a cause, but it can show you a pattern, a question your own town needs to answer. So you've got the federal study tracker, the EPA's direct orders, and a way to check your local ER data. 3 tools, but what do you actually do with them?
You look at the numbers and they look back. 74%. That's not a statistic. That's a line item on a budget sheet nobody wanted to write. The NIH tracker is logging symptoms people were told they weren't feeling. Headaches, rashes, that cough that won't leave. It's the physical receipt for a transaction that happened in the sky over your home. And the official reports, they talk about parts per billion. Safe limits. But you're not a lab sample. You're a person trying to breathe in your own kitchen. So you ask, who pays for this? The lawsuits are there. The deadlines are there. But a deadline feels different when it's your health on the clock. The final question isn't about legal theory.
If your town had a disaster tomorrow, would the first all clear be based on the health of your children or on the liability limits of the corporation that caused it? So you looked it up. The NIH symptom tracker, the one they launched after the wreck. Headaches, rashes, nosebleeds. The list keeps growing. They're funding studies now, but who's paying for the research? The latest EPA reports, the ones from 2026, they say the water's fine, the air's fine, but you're still coughing. Your kid's still got that rash. There are lawsuits, deadlines to file against Norfolk Southern. But how do you prove your house is worth less when they say everything is safe? What's the one thing you check now that you never did before?